Hey guys, today we're going to be sharing with you our Christmas book haul. And yes, if you're wondering, I'm wearing my Christmas Mickey Mouse pajamas. I was too lazy to change into real clothes, but I did throw on some makeup. Okay, so it's that time of the year for a Christmas book haul. As always, I have more books than Stephanie does, so I'm going to do 2 books at a time, and then in between my books, Stephanie will share her books. So let's get going. First up, The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. What is it about? I will tell you. Lucy Hart knows better than anyone what it's like to grow up without parents who loved her. In a childhood marked by neglect and loneliness, Lucy found her solace in books, namely the Clock Island series by Jack Masterson. Now a 26-year-old teacher's aide, Lucy is able to share her love of reading with bright young students, especially 7-year-old orphan Christopher Lamb. Lucy would give anything to adopt Christopher, but even the idea of becoming a family seems like an impossible dream without proper funds and stability. Just when Lucy's about to give up, Jack Masterson announces he's finally written a new book. Even better, he's holding a contest at his home on the real Clock Island, and Lucy is one of the 4 lucky contestants chosen to compete to win the one and only copy. For Lucy, the chance of winning the most sought-after book in the world means everything to her and Christopher. But first, she must contend with ruthless book collectors, wily opponents, and the distractingly handsome and grumpy Hugo Reese, the illustrator of the Clock Island books. Meanwhile, Jack, the mastermind Masterson, is plotting the ultimate twist, ending that could change all their lives forever. So yeah,
Jack the what?
The mastermind.
Oh, I thought you said a couple things.
No. Yeah, the whole thing of like there's some sort of like game that this author is putting on, I guess, and everyone has to compete to get this exclusive book. I'm all in for it. It's like it's going to turn into the Hunger Games. I bet everyone's going to start killing each other. I don't know. Maybe it's not that type of book. I don't know. Next up, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. And I finally caved, and I put this on my Christmas list because I was like, you know what, I'm going to cave and get this book finally, because last year this was made into a miniseries with Brie Larson. So, and I watched that, and I really liked it and enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. And if I'm not mistaken, this book won like the Goodreads Choice Awards for historical fiction. I can't remember if it was in 2022 or 2021. I can't quite remember, but I believe this won Best Historical Fiction for the Goodreads Historical Fiction category. So yeah, what is this about? Chemist Elizabeth Zott is not your average woman. In fact, Elizabeth Zott would be the first to point out that there is no such thing as an average woman. But it's the early 1960s, and her all-male team at Hastings Research Institute make a very unscientific view of equality, except for one, Calvin Evans, the lonely, brilliant Nobel Prize-nominated grudge holder who falls in love with, of all things, her mind. True chemistry results. Like science, though life is unpredictable. Which is why a few years later, Elizabeth Zott finds herself not only a single mother, but also the reluctant star of America's most beloved cooking show, Supper at 6. Elizabeth's unusual approach to cooking proves revolutionary. But as her following grows, not everyone is happy, because as it turns out, Elizabeth Zott isn't just teaching women to cook. She's daring them to change the status quo. I can't wait to get this.
It's not a Stephanie Christmas without my one kid book. What is this anyway? Christmas with Mickey. There's 3 festive Christmas stories in here. They are Mickey Mouse Flies the Christmas Mail, Mickey Mouse Goes Christmas Shopping, and Mickey's Christmas Carol. They all fit in here. Mickey.
Stephanie always has to have some like little, what is that? Is that a golden book?
It is a golden book.
Stephanie always has to have some random golden book for whatever reason. It helps her with her Goodreads reading challenge.
Yeah, because I always fail near the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I go find the smallest books I can get to finish. You're over here with your big 400-page books, and I got my 35-page golden book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all my books are like gigantic. So yeah, up next for me, I have 2 Outlander-themed books. First up, we have Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone by Diana Gabaldon, and this is book whatever in the series. I've officially lost count. I actually haven't even read the previous book, the one that you got me last Christmas. I haven't read that one just yet. I'm a little behind. I still need to read the previous book, but I'm since the TV series is coming to an end, I'm kind of thinking about maybe I'll just binge these two books together. Maybe, I don't know. I'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'm not really going to sit and read what this book is about, especially since I am a book behind. And yeah,
Might get a spoiler.
Yeah, this far into the series, I don't want to, especially if you're behind as well. I don't want to sit and read the synopsis back here and accidentally spoil something. But yeah, all you need to know about the Outlander series, starting with the very first book, it starts off with a woman. She was a nurse during World War II, and at some point after the war, her and her husband go on a second honeymoon to Scotland. And it's there in Scotland she sees some standing stones, and she goes up to the standing stones, touches one of them, and she's transported to like 1700s Scotland, where she meets hot redheaded Jamie Fraser. So yeah, this book series, if you don't know, yeah, it's like a time travel type series. I love them. I love the TV series. Like I said, I'm a couple books behind, but that's okay. I'll catch up eventually. Next up, I have the next book by Sam Heughan and Graham McTavish, Clanlands in New Zealand. I really enjoyed the first book they put together. The first book was just called Clanlands, and that was their adventures, their traveling adventures and eating adventures and exploring the culture, the food, the people of Scotland. I really enjoyed that book, and then I really liked the TV show version of that came out. And yeah, over the summer after the last season of Outlander aired, there was another season of this taking place entirely in New Zealand, which Graham McTavish knows a lot about because he spent a lot of time there filming the Hobbit movies. So of course there were a lot of Hobbit related jokes in that particular season of Clanlands, or whatever that show. It's not called Clanlands. I can't think. Oh, Men in Kilts. That's what the show's called. It's called Men in Kilts. So yeah, this one they're back and they're in New Zealand. And like I said, that second season was really super fun, and I loved it. So I can't wait to explore their adventures in further detail in the second book.
Next, I have books 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the manga Spy family. I haven't even read the other ones.
I thought I saw that you had read a couple of those. You hadn't?
I haven't.
No. Oh, maybe it was another manga series I saw.
But I haven't read it. But what I believe is about is kind of like what's that Russian show you like, where they're not Russian show, but the Russian family. With Carrie Russell. What is it, Carrie Russell?
Oh, the Americans?
Yeah, I believe they're a spy family. They're not really family though. I believe that's what it is. They're not an actual family.
Okay.
So there's the mom, dad, and the child. Even the child's a spy, I believe. And there's I'm not entirely sure.
It almost seems more like Umbrella Academy to me. I mean, they're not a bunch of spies. They're more like superheroes, but it almost seems like a spy version of the Umbrella Academy. Maybe. I don't know. Next up, The Ball at Versailles by Danielle Steele. And guys, why does Danielle Steele do this? I always gripe and complain whenever I haul her books because she always puts a big, huge photo of herself like on the back.
Press photo, like she's out at some event.
It's just so distracting. I hate when authors have big, huge photos on the back of the book because then, like, if you're out in public and you're reading and like,
right, who's that lady on the...
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when I'm out in public, I usually don't even take my jacket with me because I'm always worried about the jacket getting damaged anyway. But still, I hate her books that she has a big old giant photo on there. It's so distracting.
But then somebody will see her and be like, I see you have a Danielle Steele book.
But yeah, this is the front of the cover. The Ball at Versailles. Okay. It's the summer of 1959, and the Palace of Versailles is hosting an event that will make history. It is an exclusive dusk to dawn ball in which a select group of American and French debutantes will be presented to international society and royalty. 4 young women, each with something to prove, receive what some see as invitations of a lifetime. And yeah, then the rest of the synopsis is going through like each of the women. I'm not going to sit and read all that, but yeah, that's basically all it is. Sounds like my cup of tea. I can't wait. Next up, The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. I love the design of this. I love books if it takes place in like a snowy element or whatever. I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. Okay, so Maine, 1789, when the Kennebec, I guess that's how that's pronounced, when the Kennebec River freezes, entombing a man in the ice, Martha Ballard is summoned to examine the body and determine cause of death. As a midwife and healer, she is privy to much of what goes on behind closed doors in Holwell. Her diary is a record of every birth and death, crime and debacle that unfolds in the close-knit community. Months earlier, Martha documented the details of an alleged rape committed by 2 of the town's most respected gentlemen, one of whom has now been found dead in the ice.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot. When a local physician undermines her conclusion, declaring the death to be an accident, Martha is forced to investigate the shocking murder on her own. Over the course of one winter, as the trial nears and whispers and prejudices mount, Martha doggedly pursues the truth. Her diary soon lands at the center of the scandal, implicating those she loves and compelling Martha to decide where her own loyalties lie. Ooh.
Get it, Martha.
I like you here to make commentary on my books, because I know you're thinking, oh, that sounds terrible.
Next, I have the, I guess it's book 3 in a way of the series of From a Certain Point of View, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and this has 40 stories. So yeah, it's always celebrating, I believe all of them celebrate the 40th anniversaries for the other 2 as well. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. There's some other books that are kind of in the same style as this, but yeah, this has 40 stories for 40 years of Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. Some of them will be with, I think, characters you know, and then most of the time, though, it's just random side people.
Oh, yes.
That you know nothing about. And then sometimes there's usually the stormtrooper who's the good guy, and he doesn't want to be there. The story, and then he dies, and then you feel bad.
Next up, Where the Dead Waits by Allie Wilkes. I love the cover design of this book. Once again, there's like a snowy backdrop here, and y'all probably can't really tell, but right here on the ice opening, it looks like a hand reaching up from the depths of the river or whatever's going on here. I love the design of that. So cool. William Day should be an acclaimed Arctic explorer, but after a failed expedition in which his remaining men survived only by eating their dead comrades, you were supposed to make some sort of commentary there, he returned under a black cloud. Oh my God, so some cannibalism went on. I'm here for that. 13 years later, his second in command, Jesse, I'm guessing that's Jesse Stevens, has gone missing in the same frozen waters. Perhaps this is Day's chance to restore his tarnished reputation by bringing Stevens, the man who's haunted his whole life, back home. But when the rescue mission becomes an uncanny valley into his past, Day must face up to the things he's done. Abandonment, betrayal, cannibalism, dear God. Aboard ship, Day's command is tested by unwanted passengers. Stephen's wife, a spirit medium whose seances both fascinate and frighten, and a reporter obsessively digging up the truth about the first expedition. Following a trail of cryptic messages, gaunt bodies, and old bones, their search becomes more and more unnerving, as it is clear that the restless dead are never far behind. Something is coming through. Ooh, you know, I'm getting vibes of Dan Simon's The Terror. I'm here for this book, yes. Next up, I have a work of non-fiction by amateur historian Philippa Langley, The Princess in the Tower, Solving History's Greatest Cold Case. This book, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, this is non-fiction, exploring the couple hundred, however, it's been several hundred years at this point, the mystery of the Princess in the Tower. If you don't know your history, King Richard III, he was accused, rightfully so, maybe, who knows, we don't know, we'll never know. He was accused of possibly having murdered his 2 nephews because they were seen one day and then the next day they were just missing.
Someone knows.
Someone knows.
It's in the royal records.
In the raw records, maybe. Who knows? So, yeah, this book is exploring some new evidence that Philippa Langley and her team have kind of, for several years now at this point. Philippa Langley, who very famously, she is the one who found the remains of Richard III in the car park. So, yeah, she has always had an invested interest in Richard III and trying to reclaim his name and turn him into, I don't know if she's trying to make him into a hero at some point. I don't know about that because yeah, Richard III has always been vilified, especially by Shakespeare's propaganda play, essentially, the Richard III play. Even though I do love that. He's a great villain. He's a classic Shakespearean villain. So yeah, this book is exploring new evidence that has come to light that Philippa Langley and her team have discovered over the last several years since she found Richard III's remains. And yeah, there was recently a really good PBS documentary about this exact thing to coincide with the release of this book. And yeah, Philippa Langley is a rather controversial figure because she's not an actual historian. She's an amateur historian, and a lot of people take issue with that. And plus, Philippa Langley, she is very pro Richard III. She has a very difficult time kind of having an unbiased opinion about him because she just really believes he did not kill these boys. And so she does everything in her power to be like, no, this person, or whoever. And yeah, she, because from watching the documentary, she is really into the whole idea of the pretenders that came up kind of during the reign of Henry VII and whatnot. She really believes in the pretenders, that they are the boys, that they were just aged up, you know, they grew up over time, obviously. And then, yeah, they died, and Henry VII notoriously killed one of the pretenders and whatnot, chopped off his head. Even though if that was really one of the boys, that would have been his wife's brother, you know. So, I can't wait to kind of get into the book version of Philippa Langley's evidence and whatnot and see how it goes. But I did really enjoy the documentary, and it was very compelling. She certainly made me sit and ponder questions.
She's a Richard III fangirl.
Yes, that's what you need to know about Philippa Langley. She is straight up a Richard III fangirl.
Next, I have Murtaugh from Christopher Paolini.
I'm going to read this book too.
So, obviously, spin-off of the character Murtaugh from the original series of Aragon.
Series.
On the inheritance cycle. Mm-hmm. I will read the synopsis. I don't do these things. The world is no longer safe for the dragon rider Murtaugh and his dragon Thorn. An evil king has been toppled, and they are left to face the consequences of the reluctant role they played in his reign of terror. Now they are hated and alone, exiled to the outskirts of society. Throughout the land, hushed voices whisper of brittle ground and a faint scent of brimstone in the air, and Murtaugh senses that something wicked lurks in the shadows of Algasia. So begins an epic journey into the unknown. As Murtaugh and Thorn must find and outwit a witch veiled in mystery. That was so yes, excited because we are Murtaugh fangirls.
Yes,
and Christopher Paolini probably understands that Murtaugh has a very big fan base.
Yeah,
for him to make this big of a book for him.
When the inheritance cycle originally came out, Murtaugh was definitely far and away one of the most popular characters to come out of that book series. So yeah, I'm glad he did a spin-off because I've been wanting him to go back to the world of Algasia.
Yeah,
right. I've been wanting him to go back so bad.
Yeah, especially what's happened since afterwards. If there's any bad stuff that's actually come out from, there's always good, but there's always bad that comes out from taking down the big evil. Yeah, the big evil empire or whatever it may be. Yeah. I'm also curious if this is just a standalone, or I don't know if he said.
Yeah. I'm curious too if it's intended as a standalone, or is he going to have other books come out and it's going to be focused on other random characters? Yeah. You know, I don't know. I mean, if he did spin it off into a trilogy, that'd be great. Yeah. And my last book that I'm going to haul for you guys is the newest by Cassandra Clare, and it's Sword Catcher. And this is part of a new series, which I think it's called the Sword Catcher series, maybe. I'm not sure. I could be mistaken about that.
Shiny.
In the vibrant city of Castellane, the richest of nobles and the most debauched of criminals have one thing in common: the constant search for wealth, power, and the next hedonistic thrill. Kell is an orphan, stolen from the life he knew to become the Sword Catcher, the body double of a royal heir, Prince Connor Aurelian. He has been raised alongside the prince, trained in every aspect of combat and stagecraft. He and Connor are as close as brothers, but Kell knows that his destiny is to die for Connor. No other future is possible. Lancaster is one of the Ashkar, a small community whose members still possess magical abilities. By law, they must live behind walls within the city, but Lynn, a physician, ventures out to tend to the sick and dying of Castellane. Despite her skills, she cannot heal her best friend without access to forbidden knowledge. After a failed assassination attempt brings Lynn and Kel together, they are drawn into the web of the mysterious Rag Picker King, the criminal ruler of Castellane's underworld, who offers them each what they want most. But as the two descend into his world of intrigue and shadow, they discover a conspiracy of corruption that reaches from the darkest gutters of Castellane to the highest tower of its palaces. As long-kept secrets begin to unravel, they must ask themselves, is knowledge worth the price of betrayal? Can forbidden love bring down a kingdom? It's a Cassandra Clare book. Most likely their love is going to bring down a kingdom. And will their discoveries plunge the nation into war and the world into chaos? And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I was worried it was going to keep going into this. Yeah, I'm excited to read something else by Cassandra Clare that has nothing to do with the Shadowhunter universe, as much as I love the Shadowhunter universe. Yeah, because she has one more Shadowhunter trilogy coming out. So yeah, I think she started thinking, I need some backup income once Shadowhunter ends. So yeah, I can't wait to get this. Yeah, this is a shiny cover.
My last book is The Legacy of Yang Chen by F.C. Yi. This is comes from the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is actually the second book, I believe, for this Avatar. So not really sure what it's about. I don't want to spoil myself for the other one because I haven't read the first one. But yeah, it's cool to get these books about other avatars,
Previous avatars,
and what went down in the world while they were there, because obviously something had to have happened. So it's cool just to get to know past avatars, and maybe there's some things that link up into the show we know.
Mm-hmm. But so that is it for our Christmas book haul. In the comments below, did you guys receive any books for Christmas? If so, what type of books did you get? Have you read any of the books that we just shared with you guys, or do you plan on reading any of them in the future? So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.